What's going on, team? Looks like we got ourselves a rally. Let's go ahead, let's talk all about it. What happened? Were we surprised? Was anything unexpected talked about? I don't know. Let's jump right into it. Welcome to At the Close.
All right, it is time for pre-market prep at the close.
Three consecutive highs, opened, matched yesterday's low, and then once it took out there, that's all the breakout momentum traders needed.
Well, let's bring in Joel Elconin. Release the Conin. What's going on? How we doing? What a market day. And
So I got a little prop here for our buddy. Yeah.
Right.
Now what do I like to call Jerome?
He's pumping pow.
Yeah, baby. Here we are. This is what he had underneath that desk, baby. Just pumping it up, baby. Pump this market up, baby. Let's get it going. Let's go back to all-time highs. That's what he had under his desk,
It's
baby.
green, baby.
You want to talk about the Fed tool? This is the Fed tool, baby. Pump that market up. Holy macro.
They got it in the tool belt, I'll tell you that much.
I had to go into the garage and find a bike pump from the trip up north. That is all I can say. You know what? The other thing.
It was more like an airbag, man. That thing jumped up.
Whoa. And the other thing that you just gotta, I mean, wasn't this day predetermined in the after hours yesterday? I mean,
say that.
couple misses by a couple of the big guns, and buy overnight, lifting offers, take out the pre-market high, hang out there a little bit, and then everybody was waiting for that shake and bake where they take it down to the low. We're not going to fall for this rally, and there was hardly any break at all. I think we came 20 handles off the high. We're just ripping here, 40, 42, 75. That's above the high of the move. I don't want to get crazy and talk about a 50% retracement of this entire move. That will really bring out the bear haters. And we got a lot of them, boy. There was some nasty bears in that chat this morning. Basis the spider. That takes it to 423. That's about, well, that would be let's just call 4,200. Why the heck not? Why the heck not go 160 handles from here going up? But anyways, that's the S&Ps. We'll be ripping into the close, hopefully. Crude up 3.25. Good for crude. Gold getting a jump on this. Gold, just when you think it's dead for good, up 20.30 at 17.56. Silver in the green, back in the 19 handle, up 54 cents. Bitcoin moving with the markets. Bitcoin up 1,900, 22,815. And Ethereum futures, they're moving big on a percentage basis too, up 16.7%. That's $227.50 at 1592.50.
Well, the market's singing up because even Google and Microsoft holding on to their tape, and we were looking to see if those were going to go into the red. And Google closing on up there towards 114.30. I did trade this one bullish today. A little bit mad. I sold it all, Joel, and I got a little annoyed because it just kept running, baby. It kept running. The Googster not looking too bad there.
Yeah, let's take a look at the Goog. I mean, they got above the pre-market high. That's something that we always talk about, right? And it took that out with ease. That 265 number I gave you was okay for a little bit in Microsoft, but not good for the entire session. But the Goog, it's coming out. You think it looks like an ugly chart, and then it pulls this. Next daily target 115.21, and then 116.33. For Microsoft did say that, hey, yeah, we had a little miss, but we're looking good for next year. Boom. How high do we get? 269.56, clearing that resistance. Yeah, I'll move this line up here. We'll see what it does here. At least That's closer to 275. So that's the next major resistance there in Microsoft.
So let's talk. Really, what did we get from the FOMC meeting, right? I mean, you saw the conference call. I was listening in. A lot of that was just like everyone was throwing him like these hypotheticals, and he was just like, I'm not having any of it. We're not going into hypotheticals. We're just going to focus on what is. What
Yes.
is and stated in the statement here is inflation remains elevated, reflecting supply demand imbalance relating to the pandemic, higher food and energy prices, broader price pressures, and of course, bringing in the Russia's war against Ukraine has caused tremendous human and economic hardship. And we pretty much didn't get anything new that we weren't expecting.
Now,
75 basis points came in. The 100, it really did seem like it was off the table. I know
yeah.
for a second there, some people were talking about it, but it seems like it was off the table there. Mentions of continued that we potentially could see the jobs number weaken a little bit, the jobs market, but we really even haven't seen that, right? With these hike rates. I mean, we're hearing mentions of layoffs, but the numbers don't show us that.
No, I mean it's like nothing. You're right. I mean, absolutely. The Fed watch tool, the CME, had it right. We had been talking about the commodities have been coming down for the most part. I know natty gas got a little bit of a pop, but I mean, is it that easy to cure inflation? A couple massive, rate hikes. I hope so. But now, I mean, now you've totally changed the complexion of this market. Of course, you got GDP coming out tomorrow. But man, now somebody is like, yeah, yeah, ignore Walmart. Yeah, Walmart was that
Ignore
Walmart?
Walmart.
Like, who cares about Walmart? Walmart up
Walmart.
442 today. Yeah. Um, it's Target coming back. The market has a short memory. We'll see what it has tomorrow. But yeah, you're right. I mean, nothing new. I mean, we got a little carried away this morning and with Roggy, and why not? Okay, they're just pumped. They're just jacking the rates up so they can bring them down again.
Mhm.
Maybe in 23. I mean, is it that
I think so.
easy to tame inflation? I don't know. I guess we'll find out at that
Well,
next
the question
CPI reading.
is, yeah, the question is, did they have the effect on inflation, or did the prices themselves and demand destruction have
There
the
you go.
effect on inflation? Right? I think that's what you have to also keep in mind because we've been seeing the prices come down, right? And so, what really had the effect on inflation? Of course, the Fed is going to say it was on their interest rate hike rate because that's their narrative, right? But really, I mean, when the prices of per barrel come down, that could also help inflation too, right? And so I think we need to just keep on watch what the situation is, the price per barrel, definitely keep on watch oil. Do we get another run to the highs, or is this just a measured bounce and there's some stability going on in the pricing? Because that's another thing that could happen, right? Last time I can remember, if you take a look at the financial crisis, you had oil ripping. Eventually, it found some stability. And I think that this is what we need to kind of watch for. Do we find stability in oil so that inflation really can get tamed? Or is there another run in oil left here?
Excellent point. Like, how about a trading range, right? I mean, this
Mm-hmm.
thing's so wild. I mean, what's a trading range? I mean, maybe like right now, you're developing one between 95 and 100. Even if that bumps up to 100, up to 100, 105, long, maybe a long consolidation area. But I mean, that the rebounds, I mean, once the market gets heat, oh, there's no recession. People are going to be driving places. They're going to be flying places. They're going to need all that gas, all that oil and gasoline to move it. So it's a fickle market. The tough to do. I'd say right now for oil, uh, the big hurdle where I would start to get worried about a lot of upside. Let's just call it 101. You're going back. Your 2, your 4, your 6 to 7 day highs are right under 101. Let's see if that keeps a little cap on it. And then 4 out of the last 5 lows right under 95. So maybe that's a range for a few days here. for the crude oil. I better get that pump back over there to Powell because we're leaking a little bit. We just hit 42.75, backed off 8 handles.
Well. Before we get, too ahead of ourselves, we got to remember GDP tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Expected at 0.3. Keep that on your radar. I did have someone on today, Sam Stovall, research. He's capital at CFRA, and he actually gave me a crazy expectation I didn't expect. He actually expects it to come positive, and as positive as 1%. So the expectation is 0.3. If we could get some positive GDP, what would you expect happens in this market tomorrow, Joel?
The opposite of what I think is going to happen, because it'll be like, the economy is overheating, inflation is back, right? I mean, fickle market. Maybe we'll just watch the pre-market action, overnight, and if we're down, then we'll just assume the GBD's down. If it, or that was a great indicator today. If you could just focus out on all the earnings and all these things, and just the boys are out there buying. They're out there buying early and often, and just took a little pause. 42.75. We haven't seen these levels in over a month. Let me see if I can find anything here. We exceeded this high here, which by 40, 30, 50 on a daily basis. Oh my gosh, there is nothing in here, Mitch. There is nothing in here.
Yeah, there's nothing now. Definitely, I think the next stop from there is like up there to 408, 410s.
Look at the next daily high.
but-
Now, the market doesn't. I mean, we came down hard. This is from June to 9th and 10th. But the discrepancy there between the June 10th high, which we've really already exceeded, and the June 9th high, 41.45, that's some air here. Now, one other trick I like to do, and when I get areas like this, like can we go up another 115 handles tomorrow? Well, maybe. But what I like to do is say, hey, what did we do during the intraday basis? What did we do between 9:30 and 4 o'clock? So then I switch over to this tool here, ES.D. I go back to June 9th, and the intraday high is still way up there, 41.20.50, folks. So if you are taking a short in this market, just remember there's not much in here as far as resistance. I mean, it is what it is. See, with the .D, you get your little spider gaps too that you guys like to follow. But if you get the true chart up here with the 24-hour, nice and clean. No, there was a little gap here. We took care of that, but there's no gaps. There's nothing. There's nothing in there. So we'll see how we close today. But what other? Is there some other earning stocks today that we want to cover? Any surprises?
We'll get into some other ones. I do want to take a look at Meta, right? Because Meta's going to be reporting today, and that right there. And I agree with the chat. A lot of talk in the chat about Meta and some uncertainty. Some people feeling a little bit nervous about that report. Some people feeling, hey, who knows what can happen here now with Meta. I mean, it was a very bearish tape, but for some reason, they could come in and maybe even miss and go up. That would be giving us a sign also. So I don't know which way this is heading. I don't think anybody does, but something that we'll all be watching.
Chart looks terrible. You got to buy it. I mean, that's only other
right. That's what it feels like. I mean, right? You got to especially like, I mean, we learned with Google's chart, it looked terrible, and that doesn't look terrible anymore.
I mean, here's the thing. I mean, that was a wicked fall for Facebook off the Snapchat earnings, right? 183.85 is where you peaked on Thursday last week. You get down, 157.95, 67.87, 26-point move. I mean, come on. Does the value of Meta really fluctuate? I mean, what is that? Like, it's not 25%, but maybe 20%, 15, 20%. I mean, maybe that rally was a little bit too quick up over 180, but man, oh man, the algos are just ripping this thing around. Snapchat set a low bar. I guess Microsoft and Google even set a lower bar, but they went under the lower bar, but then they're rallying. So if Facebook comes out with a solid beat. Who knows where this thing's going? I just want to see how Netflix is doing. Netflix continuing to chug. Next target for Netflix. That gap down day, 243.70.
I had Giles Coughlin on from YMC this morning on Stock Market Movers, and he was looking at the dollar index, paying attention to that, letting me know that if the dollar does drop, maybe we pay attention to silver stocks. Ooh, silver plays doing well today. Let's take a look at some of those. PAAS is one that I'd point to. That's the highest capitalization, having a good kind of bottoming chart there near this 18s. How do you see some silver?
Let's go to high host silver. Let's go. Poking its head above 19 here. Can't believe this thing touched 18, went 18, 19. Then it tried to decide. Then they were trimming the edges, 1880, 1820. Now, if in fact this thing can clear 19, we are above 19 right now as we speak at 19.005. Catch a bid here. I mean, at 19, little bit of trouble you might run into here at multiple highs. I'm just going to the futures here, so I don't follow the individual equities that much. But for your silver traders, come on, show me some data. You got 3-4 highs, same area. Let's get up to 1940. I'd say on this run, we hold 19, make a bid above 19, and maybe take a run at 1940.
Well. It looks like I know that people are talking about traveling, maybe pointing towards, recession. Doesn't sound like a good outlook, but did you see Hilton? I know that we forgot to cover those earnings this morning, but look at that. EPS here at $1.29, beating the $1.04 estimate. Sales, $2.24 billion, beating the $2.08 billion estimate. Raising the guidance there on their EPS also. And look at that candle. That's a nice little candle there for Hilton.
Man, those are tough candles. Filling the gap here. Gapped up, filling a gap. Still in like the lower. So if this market's going to do a big retracement, why not the heck, go for the whole enchilada on this one. You had to move 168. How low did you get? Let's call it 110. It's about, you can call it a 60-point move. Add 34 to that. 18, 28, 38, 142. Why not? Why not go to this monthly high here? That's 145.70. But your 50% retracement take you right back there. Good earnings. How the other hotel stocks are doing. It's funny. This goes from we're going into recession. No one's going on vacation. No one's doing anything.
Yeah.
Everyone is traveling. Marriott looking good. That's still battling back. How are our airlines doing? Looks like
Coming back today.
yeah, a little bit. How about CCL? Still hanging out here. They did an offering when I was gone, right?
Yeah, they did a
my
1 billion
God.
offering. Tried to sneak that one in there.
Oh, you're supposed to do offering when your stock is high, not when it's low. But anyways, that's trying to get. I've said it probably 100 times on this show. I'm not a cruise fan unless you're going to Alaska. Yeah, still not getting a lot of love. What about Boeing? Have you looked at a Boeing chart today?
Let's take a look at that. It was battling there, and I think a lot of this is. Look at that flip in the pre-market to the intraday. It's difficult to trade a stock like that when it's doing that, especially if you're not leaving yourself some room. But it's hard. What do you think about that chart, Joel?
I think that whatever I think this thing's going to do, it pretty much does the opposite.
Yeah,
it's just
that's Boeing for me, also, Joel. This is why I don't try to trade this one. I've been stopped out plenty of times.
It had the earnings. Did I give you? If I gave you ooh, boy, that's nice. Look at this. 163.34 was your high from last week. The pre-market traders got it right when it went to 163.88. You came up just shy, only going to 62.74, and you backed off substantially. So you got to maintain this bid here at 2 out of the last 3 lows. It's called 153. You're holding 153, then you got to clear that 164 area. under 163, things open up to the downside. I mean, they missed. They doubled the miss under EPS. They missed on revenues, and this one is kind of acting like it should here, giving some back. But yeah, nice day. Nice day. Well, nice run for Boeing. If I was long Boeing on a swing trade here, I try and would hold out until it takes out that 153. What's the high close for the rebound? That high close for the rebound was probably made on the same day as the high, 161.41. So keep an eye on that one. That was the high the day preceding the high of the move on July 21st. Spoos are leaking. We've far exceeded the average daily range. They're starting to ring the register here. Who knows where we're going to close? That 42.75, 10 minutes left. We'll get some imbalances here for the close, but nice move today. Up 109 handles right now, 32.25.
All right. Looks like the shop Phi said no to 3013. I will not go down there. Turning back around. I'm not worried about layoffs. I'm not worried about talking about how the CEO said himself was wrong. We're going back up, baby. Shopify.
Probably, like, if you want to do a clip to rip me here today, I was saying I want to buy it at any price because the CEO and they heard that. The algos heard that. They were listening to the show, and they're like, I mean, what I'll say, and Triple D made a good point. Like, there was no sense shorting it. It's so weird. They gave the announcement yesterday. They whack it. And then they come out the day after. I mean, why'd they just shut their mouth yesterday and just probably wouldn't have went as low, but no, they had opened.
They tried the old. I'm gonna give you half of the bad news, and then I'm gonna release the next half of the bad news, the following day. Can't blame.
Okay, we got to focus here because we got to make a new high close for the move here going into GDP.
Do you see what we're cutting down below? We're cutting down below that shadow zone on the SPY. I've been waiting. There's a gap there.
Is this it? Is Mitchy Mitch? You gonna call this out?
401.45. That's all I'm watching.
Are you gonna fade this move? Are you gonna say pump and pow? Put in a temporary. I mean, we've not this Fed, not the last Fed meeting, but the Fed meeting before. We went up. I don't even know what day. It was like right here.
I want to show it. Yeah, it's an important thing. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit on that to show it. Because I think it's an important thing. We had some time, and I talked about it. How last time when we had like this little top range, we were battling up there. I think it was the 420s to the 416. Then out of nowhere, we had this day where we went up to like 418, almost 419. It looked like it was going to break out, and then it flipped.
It was right here. I bet you it was right here. Yep. And this was because Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that was the Fed meeting day. And then the next, they just, boom. They actually, I don't know if they made a higher high that day.
Oh, and the futures look a little different there than even the SPY.
Yeah. And then that's when we went down. Good point here. But let's, all right. I'm not going out on a limb here, but 4001.25. That was the high close of the rebound. So if we lose 25 handles, then we don't pose a new high for the rebound. I mentioned 4,000 earlier in the week, and that 4,000. I like to do my daily numbers. I like to do my weekly numbers. I keep a monthly chart up. I don't do monthly numbers as much, but I will do a quarterly number. And your quarterly number is right there at 4,000. I mean, you could not. It's actually a 4,004.50, but Triple D doesn't like when I get too pickies with the numbers. So 4,000 looks like we're going to post our second close above that. We need to establish that as support. Couple bounces off that and then work into these two big red candles here. But we'll see with GDP coming out. You don't think Pump and Powell has the GDP number in his back pocket? I mean, come on.
I'll tell you one thing. If it's what anything of what I heard of 1% versus 0.3, oh boy, it's going to be fun to watch this market tomorrow. And of course, keep on watch after the close. We're just a couple minutes away. We get Meta reporting. You'll get QCOM reporting. Ford also. QCOM is one that we can maybe take a look at. I know we don't look at that too often. And trust me, the guac is good in Chipotle
Oh
because
my Lord.
it's all a guac day. It's guac. Look, that's a guac candle. I'm gonna call that.
I don't look at that. That is I'll use the whole enchilada thing again. I mean,
Yo, for
I
sure.
don't even know what to say. I mean, Ford. I said, oh yeah, maybe Ford. I'm horrible on these high price stocks. Like, oh yeah, a couple tops there at 1460. I mean, if you sold there, you're like, man, what an idiot Joel is there. Blew right through there. I don't know, man. Were the numbers that good? The other thing too, I mean, in one of these days, they're going to sneak in a stock split on you, and this is a little bit better market environment to do a stock split. They didn't do it today. Do we have a matching high here? 1526.70 and 1520. Yeah, that's not quite matching, but make sure you get in tomorrow's price action. Make sure you get through the previous day's high. Keep the run going, or just maybe move your stop. Maybe say, hey, if it starts going to the gap, I'll be a little bit worried. But that's a long ways to go there for CMG, and the monthlies aren't telling you anything till 1600.
Well, if you guys remember for this morning in pre-market prep, I talked about how lately when I've been seeing technology lead, what do I look at? Well, I look at some tech. Is it leading also? And wouldn't you know it? Leading industry in technology today, solar up 9.85%, a lot off the heels of that EMPH report. And phase ripping through there, 17.5% move,
Wow.
pushing up like a monster. And I will give a shout out to my man Dennis Dick giving us the SEDG relationship. And that was a good trade today if you were able to catch that one.
Yeah, there was a relentless bidder there. He pulled his bids a little bit early I talked about 235. They said, I'm going to pull my bid. I'm going to suck some people in, and then I'm going to jam it again. So you got that open. Everyone had sold the open, like, wow, where was the actual opening price here? They're like, I am so smart. I sold the open on that, and boom, 35.28 that's right here. You went down. That's one of those whoops trades. If you have the guts to buy it when it comes back through the open, before you even carted that up, that thing was a 10-point winner. Triple D doesn't like to go with the hot rod, but he likes to go with the closely related stock. Right there, SETG having a great day. We talked about TAN, the laggard. Did that keep going? That kept going too. That had a nice little breakout at 74. So Tan's having a good day. Someone's asked, are we going to close on the high? I don't know. 13 handles away. Let's see here. Oh, a minute and a half to go.
Oh, wouldn't you know it? 401.50.
The numbers have memory, Mitch. Numbers don't forget, man.
It's always funny when you get far past the number and it comes right back to that one, right? Like you see those wicks. But
you know why? Because you're was that a close or was that an actual high?
That's a low on the shadow, Phil. So
low on the shadow. Because to me, the same thing with like the closes. Like will it come? Like to me, I'm gonna.
Close is so important. Close is way more important than the opening of the candle. I think.
What day was I talking with Triple D? It was the Walmart day, and he was like, "Why?" Because we had closed and then we got hit. And he goes, "Why aren't we down 50 handles right now?" And we ended up being down 50 handles on the day. And I'm like, well, a lot of people were marked, because there was a sneaky rally. What's today? Wednesday. There was that sneaky rally on Monday. So all these day traders that got caught short got marked at 70. We were trading 8-9 handles lower. They're like, hey, I'm just going to, I'll deal with my mark tomorrow if they didn't want to carry the positions overnight. So today, a little bit of selling in the close. Nothing. We'll be keeping an eye on that closing price, wherever it is. This is going to be within a minute here. So backing off the high, but overall, man, Pumpin' Paul, man, he did it again. I'll have to bring that nickname up again on Twitter because that's exactly what he did to the market today.
One thing that I'll be asking Dennis tomorrow for sure is how does growth and value look now? Because if you look at value today, look at Heinz Kraft, it got pummeled off the earnings. So take a look there. EPS beat and a beat. And wouldn't you know it, it's down.
You got it, man. You got it. Kraft, opposite day.
It's
Some
opposite
days,
day for sure, man. A
Look at
beat
that.
and a beat, and look at that chart. Whew.
I don't know if it will be opposite day tomorrow, but that's why we try and keep you nimble here. Try and look at both sides of the market, both long and short. Today, the bulls pulled it out. There we go. I'm seeing our closing print here at 22.50. So we did leak little profit taking after the big day. We'll see what happens overnight. We'll see what the GDP numbers. We'll see what Facebook does. A lot of ifs, ands, and buts, and candies and nuts. But we'll be back tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., 8:01, 8:02, whatever time I get my coffee. And we'll be ready. We'll be ready to go. Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, yes. It's been one of those days, guys. We'll continue to watch what happens and hits the tape now. I'll let Joel get on out of here. Pump it up. My man, Joel, definitely gave us the prop, and it did not stop. My man, Pumping
little bit near the
coming
close.
to the hero here. We'll see if we can get it, keep going into tomorrow. A lot of that will depend, of course, on some of these earnings that come on out. And we'll keep watch. A lot of economic data to watch. Of course, PCE. We got tomorrow GDP. Keep it on watch. We'll stay right here on Benzinga. And if you guys want to catch at 5 p.m., we got the live earnings call of Meta. I know I'll be there because I'll be running it. So I'll see you guys in just a few minutes. We'll see what happens.